one of my favorite techniques of all time.
Wait, I'm gonna stop you there.
Okay.
Before, I just want to do a disclaimer that side kicks actually don't work.
Yes.
Oh. But,
Yeah.
continue.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, so here's the thing. It's obvious that there's one best kick in all of martial arts, and that is
Spin wheel kick.
The side kick is going to be what we're focusing on today. We're going to talk about the karate version right here. I'm not even going to teach it today. Then we're going to go with the Taekwondo side kick and the Muay Thai side kick after that. So stick around, and then you might learn something.
Dude, even the, did you get it?
No. Hey, so there's two memes of this channel. One is that side kicks don't work. I love side kicks. I don't know why you guys think I don't. And two, the Taekwondo safe space karate. We're gonna eliminate both of those memes today, okay? Ready?
All right, so I'm gonna choose, I think the challenging application of side kick, which is using it off the rear leg. Front leg we use a lot in our Taekwondo style sparring.
Right.
You know, the real power is gonna come from the rear leg.
Gotcha.
So if I were to teach it, I start by explaining it just like I did with the front kick.
Okay.
Meaning our starting position to our finish position needs to be in one straight line, and we're getting there as quickly as possible.
Right.
Now with the side kick, I have that exact same delivery, but I'm turning my hip over further.
Okay.
That allows my reach to go a little bit further, and I'm gonna get a little bit more power because more hip,
Right.
more power. So again, I'm gonna bring it straight up the middle this way, but instead of extending forward,
Yep.
I turn my hip over as I extend out and into the target that way.
And you're going with the blade of the foot too.
Blade of the foot, really trying to get that heel out in front.
Yeah, yeah.
To hit the target with
That small surface area.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
As I bring my leg up straight to the target, so I'm keeping my foot in line. That's the important thing to watch, is that my foot stays in line. Even as my hip turns over, my foot's gonna stay in line as I extend all the way out.
Right.
So from starting position to finish position, my foot should never go offline during that kick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
As I bring my leg up, I'm pulling my heel to my bottom as tightly as I can.
Yeah.
And I'm turning my hip over as I extend out and into the kick.
Gotcha. The turning the hip over is what really puts the heel in front.
Yes. And I think I try to have the mindset of this is not a push. It's not a pushing kick. It's a punch.
Yeah.
So that same snap you get on that punch, I want to try to get on the end of that side kick.
Gotcha. Cool. Okay, cool. Let's do it.
Sure. So from here again, just one straight line, turning your hip all the way over.
Now this is a long range attack too.
Yes.
Like,
sure. So from here.
and what's crazy is this looks just like your roundhouse kick. It looks just like your front kick.
And that's the idea with Taekwondo, is that my initial delivery, you shouldn't know if I'm doing front,
Yep.
round,
Yep.
or side, or even axe kick for that matter.
Yeah, right. It's very similar like the superfoot style, except with the front leg, it's a back leg. And I'd imagine your front leg does the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah, makes sense.
Exactly. So again.
Okay, you guys get the idea. I'm gonna go puke. Slow-mo.
Perfect.
We did our side kick. Now it's time for the side teep, which a lot of people don't even know about. It's like a hidden gem, and it's really just a small variation, from what I understand, right? Let's talk about the side teep now. What you got?
So the side teep, just a little variation on the teep, similar. Remember, teep is not a push kick. Teep means stab in Thai. So there's a stabbing motion that happens when you teep, and I'm hitting kind of with the ball of my foot. And if I want to make it a little more painful, I even use my toe a little bit to stab it in there. I was lucky enough to train with one of the best of all time, Samart Payakriun, and about 2014, and he showed me his teep and side teep, so he's one of the best ever, so I use this method when I do
Yeah,
it.
you just do it, right?
So this is the way he showed me, and this is the way I throw it. So on the teep, just a regular teep, what I want to do here is I'm going to ground my back foot, and I'm going to bring my knee up, okay? So my knee comes up kind of inside my elbow, so it looks like my block. It looks like it could be a lot of different things. It's a good way to disguise it. So the knee kind of leads the dance on this one. The back foot is grounded. I want to move my opponent. I don't want my opponent to move me, so that's why I ground my back foot. If a guy like Seth is rushing at me, I got to be grounded here to push him away and stop him. Now the side teep is a little bit different. It comes up the same way, but at the end I'll hop into it a little bit. I can throw it from a stationary point, but I like to throw it the way I use it as a southpaw, and that's Samart is also a southpaw, is he'll hop in with it. So I'm hopping off my back foot like this. I'm gonna bring my knee up kind of the same way, and at the end, I just turn my hip and I turn my foot so my foot is hitting like this as opposed to stabbing them this way. Yeah. So I am still hitting with the ball of my foot. So the knee comes up and I hop my teep. So it's not a big difference the way I was taught to throw it. It just comes up the same way, and at the end I turn my hip and I hop into this. So I can change the angle just a little bit.
So if you could give me like an end point of where you are, like where this foot is when you're making contact.
When I'm making contact, I'm pretty much here.
Foot is
here like this.
this way to the bag.
Yes,
and,
as opposed to
and his base
teeping.
foot is like this.
Yeah, so traditional linear teep is here, straight in.
Yep.
This one, I'm up and I'm turning a little bit at the end. My foot is a little bit of an angle. It doesn't have to be like this.
Yeah,
just a
right.
little
Not
bit of an
quite
angle.
full sideways. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So what's really interesting about that is you explained how this front teep, it looks like a front teep, it looks like a check, it looks like the beginning of a side teep. And what's crazy is every other, like Wonderboy said it, and Master Wright said it. Same thing with different places. Like, so Master Wright's was here. This looks like 3 different kicks. Wonderboy's was here. This looks like 3 different kicks. So moral of the story, you got to figure out what 3 kicks you're good at, what 4 kicks you're good at, and how you can make them all look like the same thing.
Right. I know what I'm throwing. I want you to have to figure out what I'm going to throw at you.
Exactly right.
Stab. Hip up and turn just a little bit. Knee up, stab it in. Balance is important on this one, like everything. I'm pushing off that back foot a
especially
lot.
since you're like
Yeah,
moving.
I'm
and-
leaning in. And I'm
Yeah,
hopping
right.
in and landing with that teep.
Perfect.
I gotta turn my hands like this.
There you go.
Get an angle. Start flying away.
All right. So here's the thing. I could teach you a side kick, and it'd be great, and you'd probably learn something. Or I could learn a side kick too, and it'd be great, and I'll probably learn something. So, sirs,
For us? All right, let's do it. All right, let's do the side kick. So the side kick is one of my favorite techniques of all time because I use the side kick. I pick my leg up like I'm throwing a side kick, and instead of throwing a side kick, I can throw a hook kick, I can throw a round kick. So I make all my kicks look like I'm throwing a side kick. It's a great way to keep somebody at bay, keep them out at your range, and they hurt like crap. It doesn't matter if you block it or not. If he can hit you in the arms, it's going to drive your elbows into your body, and it just doesn't feel good. Side kick is awesome. So the way I like to do it, now there's many different ways people are taught how to do a side kick. Some people chamber the leg up first, right?
wait, sorry, real quick. If you chamber, is your foot behind your knee? Ever?
I don't change it.
Ever.
I don't chamber.
Is it ever?
I don't
My
know.
chamber, it's sideways with you could hold a box on.
Yeah, because that's how you do it. Sorry, I had a whole video where like I talked about how I change katas because there's katas where you go like this and then you switch it and kick.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. You know, I feel like, because I throw a lot of side kicks, and our gym throws a lot of side kicks.
Yeah.
And if you're not careful, people can jam it, especially if you pick it up like this.
Yeah.
It can be jammed, right? So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. People, teach side kicks that way, and people can they do that, right? So I'm not saying it's wrong. That's just not how I like to do it. So what I like to do is sword theory, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I stick my sword, if I had a pointy sword, and I stick it at Sweet Tea, can he come forward?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He could, but it would still,
I
he
could, but
can't.
it would be super
Painful.
bad on my
You're
part.
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, bend the
So
sword.
so what I do, instead of sticking the butt of the sword out, I'm going to stick the blade out. And the blade of my side kick is
But
the bottom of my foot. So I like to keep a sideways stance So it's easier for me to be able to lift my leg up. So I actually pick him up first. Even if the guy closes the gap, I can drive him back or shove myself away, right? I can still stop him in his tracks. And I've actually broken ribs and stopped people just doing like a 3-inch side kick, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the ways I like to do it. Many different side kicks that I use. Some side kicks I don't even turn my body as much. It's more like a stabbing, like a cut, stabbing side kick. Boom. I use a side kick sometimes to the hip where I'm kind of like pushing them away, right? And then you got the most devastating side kick, which is when I turn my body. And when I turn my body, not only am I using my quad, but I'm using my glute as well. And that's a very, very strong muscle. So when I do my side kick, it's almost like I'm turning my back to you. So I chamber my leg, my sword is out there. So even if they close the gap, they're running into. But now I got my glute involved, boom, and I can extend through the target. Now, to let you know you got a really good side kick, your toes should be angled slightly down, right? If they're up, then you're not using your glute, right? It's not gonna be as powerful. Not saying you're not gonna hurt anybody. It's not gonna be 100%. But when I turn and I chamber my leg, right? I've got my glute, everything. My head is farther away from them, so it's harder for them to hit me in the face. You know, and I can push myself away. So you got the side kick there. That's like a really strong side kick. My goal is to try and I want my foot to go through their spine. Right? I want to move them across.
I don't know if they can see this, but like your foot position, I think a lot of people when they're learning the side kick, they won't rotate that base foot. Right?
Yes, and that is a big key to help turning your body. Is turning the standing leg away. So you want your toes facing the opposite direction. One of the reasons why I keep the 50-50 stance instead of more of like the Muay Thai boxing stance, because I'm able to shift my way back easier and faster. Then going from here to here is such a big movement. People see that coming.
I mean, it might not seem like a big movement, but when you're in the fight game, every small movement matters. And going from just that extra inch, half inch from here to here instead of already being here is a huge, difference.
I can move forward. I can move back to evade. I did it against Jorge Masvidal. He was really aggressive, and I just took a half a step back. Boom! Side kicked him and knocked him on his behind. Clearing side kick. I did the same thing with Vicente Lucque.
A lot of people when they come in, their feet are like on the way before their body is.
Right. Great way to knock him off back.
Yeah.
Off
Almost
balance.
knocked me down once.
So,
yeah, I did. It made me do like a little Irish dance. I didn't even know it at the time. But now what we do is I do side kick, you fix it.
All right, let's do it, bud.
All right, so I'm left foot. My leg hurts.
Welcome to the club.
All right, so side kick.
Okay, let's do it again. Okay, your back foot is turning very well. I like the way your back foot is turning.
Okay.
A little bit more extension on the leg. All right, you're extending the leg, but get your whole body extended into it. That, did you see the difference there? Do you see the difference there?
I felt that.
On that. See, a lot of people when they do the side kick, it's the extension of the leg they only use. But boom, when you extend the body, right, you get that lower back involved and everything extend. You're getting everything into that kick, right?
Gotcha.
Okay. And what I also like about your side kick is that, see how you're kind of falling forward?
Yeah.
Which is telling me that you're pushing off of your back leg. A lot of people do this. When they side kick, their hip is actually on this side of their foot. So that when they kick, they're actually knocking themselves back.
No different than like if I was gonna push this guy and I stood here like this and I pushed.
Right.
Or if I was like this and then you push. Yeah.
Let me see it one more time. See if I can see if I've got anything. You see it, sweetie?
Yeah.
Rechambering the legs. Rechambering.
Yes, sir.
Why do I rechamber the leg?
So you can use it again?
So I can use it again. Very good. And they don't catch.
Yeah, right.
Well, I see this time and time again. Guys side kick and they fall
Let
into
it go
it,
down,
and it gets hung up.
Okay.
Guys, all you gotta do is this, and it hangs up here.
just, like,
Now I
drop
can
it in.
just, I can
the
just
basket.
fall.
Gotcha.
So I can teach you these techniques, but it's up to you to figure out how to use it, right? I can teach you a jab, but it's up to you in your sparring sessions and to how does it work for you, right?
Yep.
So, you can teach somebody how to throw a punch, how to throw a kick, but it's really up to them to be able to make it useful, right?
Yeah. As Bruce Lee once said, you can lead a horse.
hold on.
As Bruce Lee once said, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't put the water in the cup.
Exactly. So there you have it, guys. This side thrust kick.
Was that it?
No, definitely not.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
No, that's it.
Oh, but you did it on purpose.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah, because I
you
know.
got me.
I couldn't tell him that he was wrong.
This is your channel.
said it, I was like,
They're probably used to this kind of stuff.
Right.